There's a societal fallacy which is tripping up more guys across the board than I'd like to admit. And this is maybe not a statistic in which I actually know the raw values of, the raw numbers with, but I see it happen all too often, and I've fallen victim to this so many times myself. And it's a fallacy, the societal construct that's been built about you need to chase happiness, you need to be happy to have a good quality life. But I think more than anything else, you can't actually have this without that. And what is that? That is a question, right? Alignment is the true path to enlightenment. When you are aligned, you can transfer your energy up and through to the time horizon in which you can actually achieve your goals. Because right now, there's different time horizons that are happening in your individual life. Let's say you're down here, and the horizon in which you're walking is a life of low fulfillment, low purpose, anxiety, depression, lack of fulfillment. You're not seeking or chasing or growing towards any goal. And then there's a midline, which is slightly better than the previous line explained, except it's not fully, it's not fully embodying the process of becoming the man you want to be. And let's say there's the top line, which is the most aligned version of you, where your goals feel effortless, you're making great money, you're extremely focused and fixated on the process rather than the outcome. Every single day feels fun, it feels flowy, it just feels like the life you want to be living. When you are waking up every single day and you are seeking pleasure, you're seeking dopamine, you're going for the easiest life imaginable. And this is something that I see a lot of guys do. It's like you're waking up screen sucking on your phone, you've got no real mission, no real purpose, no real goals. You tell yourself you're going to do something, but straight away you find a reason as to why you can't. You live quite an apathetic life, quite a move away from me life. Like, I don't want to take responsibility. When you live on that horizon, that timeline, you will pretty much be your own worst enemy. You'll be a very anxious, burdened human being. You will be stressed. There will be no faith within your life. And that word there, faith, is something we're going to explore in this video today, because if you have no faith, if you don't feel the presence, the universal intelligence, the downloads in which you can get from a higher frequency from the world when you're super tapped in and you're aligned with your biggest, most meaningful mission, which in life is to become the very best version of you, so you can transcend and give that energy back to others through serving them, allowing them to reach their goals through your own actions, then you can become who you truly now need to be. And it's very, very hard to get there, because there has to be a few things which are quite challenging, and a lot of guys aren't really ready to face the music. They're not ready to be challenged. When it becomes something that you fixate your mind on, that you truly want to seek that change, seek that challenge, become uncomfortable, you can start living a purpose-driven life. You allow yourself to do so. But before that, you need to decide what the goal is. Right, and the goal is not happiness, as I said before. It's alignment. The goal is alignment. When you can be fully aligned with the person you now need to be, you can think about the actions, the habits, the beliefs and behaviours of what the process daily now needs to be. What big inputs create the big outputs? Because the outputs could be fame, stardom, status, respect, money, but you need to realise to have X, you need to have Y, right? So what is why? Like I said when we started this, the alignment in which you now need to build into your life comes through a lot of consistency, a lot of effort, a lot of failure, a lot of stress, and a lot of trials and tribulations. But the thing is, those 5 areas in which we've touched on there, you need to allow yourself to have some humility when it comes to actually achieving these things. It's not actually the outcome you want, it's the feeling of moving towards the outcome in which you truly want. And the goal in life is to not run out of goals, essentially. It's to always have something to move towards in my eyes. That's what I really do believe in. You can only move towards something when you're aligned with it, and you can only be aligned when you become the very best version of you. So if you, let's say you want to have £1 million, okay, did you just wake up with £1 million? No. You had to become someone who has a high leverage skill. You maybe have the value installed in you. You're maybe a specialist in your field. Someone who would be able to make £1 million. You know what I mean? How do you now become that guy? Well, you probably need to be very dialed in on your daily habits. You need to be waking up early, journaling, reflecting, have no vices that are, slowing you down. You need to build your body, build your mindset, build your character. These are the things that you really need to focus on now. Because everything in your life that you want to achieve can be a now thing. Because when you become the man now, even if you're not fully formed, fully there, you start having the ability to think vertically, thinking up, thinking towards, rather than thinking horizontally, looking around you from what you see through your current eyesight. You can start using your mindset, which is what you now perceive the world to be based upon how you now feel. Because as I say, if you're on a low frequency, if you're on a poor timeline, a bad time horizon, all your thoughts, feelings, behaviours and actions will be in alignment with negativity, apathy, grief, guilt, shame. So of course you're not going to be able to think in the frequency which would allow you to become the man. So it's always about character creation, building the best set of standards for yourself, setting the mission and goal based upon what that man now believes to be true, removing all importance from the goal itself, from actually attaining it or achieving it, just letting the natural flow of life take you there through faith, and then doing the daily blueprint, the daily habits which creative the man. That is the real thing here. And a lot of guys think, I want this, but they don't know who now they need to be to get this, which is crazy. So the real advice from this video is become the man, build the man, creative the man. Have faith in your daily inputs. Have that real raw sense of, I am becoming this man today. I will do everything within my power to stick to my macros, which is pretty much the highest form of self-development when you have renounced all vices and you can nail your food. I will train my body. I will move with motion. I will activate my nervous system, my stress response. I will actively put myself into a position where I'm building energy through physical activity, whether it be running, skipping, burpees, weight training, whatever it may be, to pump that good flow of blood around the body so you can think clearly. So the training, the macros. I will read and reflect. I will read some personal development work from the gifts of the gods. I'll tell you this, right? Reading every single day is one of the most fucking important habits you could have as a young man. Why? Because there's people in this life that have achieved amazing things, and if you can read autobiographies, read their books, read their lessons, their scripts, the things that they have now created for the world, because they are tapped in, they can give back by creating a book, let's say. If you read that, you can gain all their knowledge in a 2 to 3 month period if you read 10 pages a day. So reading on those topics, learning from the greats, reflecting on what the greats have now said, putting it into your own words so you can now articulate and understand it at the level you want. That'll be number 3. Waking up early. It does not need to be 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Just wake up early. Expose yourself to some temporary struggle every single day, which is actually quite challenging for you. I went through a period of my life where I woke up every single day at 4 a.m. Not because I had to, because I wanted to. I chose to expose myself to that self-development so I could have time in the morning ahead of the world where I could read, reflect, plan my food for the day, get my exercise in, have some peace and time to work on building the business, etc., work on myself. So waking up early buys you that time back, and it also aligns you closer to your faith, because you are now sacrificing rest and recovery for exposing yourself to the world early and getting ahead of the world, the curve in which you can beat your competition with, because you have more time in your day. And the last one would be removing the vices. I think I might have touched on that already, but when you remove all vices, from your life, the drugs, the porn, the smoking, the binge eating, the staying in bed too long, chasing girls, going out partying, whatever it may be. You remove all the distraction from your life. And success loves speed, but you can't go fast without subtraction. So you have to subtract all the things that distract you, so you can move at pace and speed towards the thing you want. And that is when the natural current of life, the natural flow of life, will bring you through outer importance towards your goal. And you will meet that because you're now aligned with the frequency, the timeline, the horizon in which your goal now sits upon. And that means you can therefore, let's say if it's the £1 million thing, you can have that £1 million goal there, remove the importance from it, let the flow of life take you there, because you are now the person who can flow on that frequency. And as time, the world, and as peace and as flow works, you will navigate and gravitate towards that natural pull of the goal, because it will take you towards it, because you removed all importance from it, and that outer flow of the current of life will take you towards it through your own self-mastery. That's why I really do believe self-mastery is one of the most important things. When you can become the man you've always needed to be for yourself, to be in the frequency so you can frequently see the success in which that man would have, then you can realize that life is not a window but a mirror, and you can go in rather than out, escape the validation from external circumstances, remove the societal norms and beliefs, and be at peace with who you are, and build a life on your own terms through lifestyle design rather than just basic lifestyle default, which therefore happens when you have too much inner importance, care so much about yourself that you just care about everyone else's opinions, their wants, their needs. So you end up just getting the car on finance, you go out to the pub every week, you buy the clothes that other people want you to wear, you just end up fitting in. But think about this, even the trendsetters in this world, right? The models of this world, for example, they set their own trends. And then when they start dressing a certain way, everyone starts dressing like them. But before everyone's caught up to them, they've already moved on to the next thing. They set the trend. And you can be a trendsetter, you can be a trailblazer in your own life if you're willing to go against the norm and do things on your own terms, do things aligned with what you believe to be true. Because when you assume that the path that you're on, backed with faith, backed with alignment, backed with your own high quality inputs, following a blueprint that allows you to think clearly and not horizontally but vertically, that is when you can become someone who achieves your goals so effortlessly and with faith and with flow that you already know it's done. And that's when you win, guys. And this is the stuff we work on with our individual clients inside the program every single day. Because when we put them in a position to think this way, feel this way, operate this way, they achieve their goals tenfold, very, very quickly, very, very effortlessly. They can submit to the process completely and just be, just do, and just have. Rather than they need to have it to be it, they get to be it to have it. And that's when things work, guys. So if you enjoyed the content, as always, rate, comment and subscribe. My number 07585 709 198 is in the description below. Drop me a message saying daily 5 and we'll send over my 5-step process for fitness, fulfillment, freedom of life, so you can really operate at your absolute best across the board. And if you do want to work with me one-to-one in any capacity, maybe it's building your business, aligning your personal brand and your values so you can really build a profitable, simple online business, that could be an option. Or if you want to just build the man phase 1, master the mindset, the physique and the lifestyle, take things to the top, Elite VIP always has space for driven candidates to work inside. So yeah guys, if you want to do it, let's do it. If you even want to book in a call, you have to message me directly on Instagram saying, would love a call with you. It's very, very simple. You just press a button if you want to press it. Shoot me a DM saying let's grab a call, we'll chat. It's a paid call. But we'll spend 90 minutes to 2 hours deep diving on your mission, your life, making sure all bottlenecks are getting solved. We're breaking through barriers. We're unfucking your mindset and rewiring your philosophy on how you can live a high quality life. Whatever it may be, guys, we've got a place for you on board and we'd love to see you win. So see you in the next one. Have a great day. Much love.